Welcome back to the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. I'm Inquisitor Temperance Price, keeper of the Inquisition's Black Library, and this is my report on the Valentyne Heresy, an actual play podcast set in the Genesis adaptation of Warhammer 40,000's Dark Heresy RPG. This report features Game Master Tom McGee and players Ryan LaPlante as Inquisitor Lucius Valentyne, Tyler Hewitt as Attikus Viz, Del Borovic as Morgan Rolls, and Josh Halbot as Gideon Vega. My report shows that the Inquisitorial band have infiltrated the enemy city. Gideon was nearly caught by Plaguebearers. Attikus found a way to disguise his power fist. Morgan felt disturbingly out of her depths, and Valentyne and Origath formed a plan to destroy the enemy landing pad. Can Gideon's power create enough fire, or will he be overwhelmed by the warp first? Find out next in this episode of the Valentyne Heresy.
Orders from the Filth Lord. Every wall must be soaked, every surface infected. Life is born from disease, and this planet has been dead too long. Spread the joy in Grandfather's name, my children. We shall earn a place at his table tonight. You are on your way to a landing pad in Cleon, the Dreaming City, deep in the warp. The city was originally held by the Eternal Blasphemy Elmstadt, who was a Tzeentch demon lord. All of them have such fun designations. You got Filth Lords going on for Nurgle. Eternal Blasphemies was the most interesting one for the Tzeentch folks. So this place has been used to generate and harvest nightmares and dreams to attempt to infect both the Immaterium and the Materium as a form of spreading Tzeentch's influence and creating new possibilities throughout the galaxy. However, the Filth Lord Postulus and his Nurgle forces have seized the city and are in the process of turning it into something just a little slimier. They are using all manner of toxins to attempt to terraform the city and eventually the planet into a new hotbed of viral distribution and generation in order to try and earn the favor of, Godfather Nurgle. You have infiltrated the town with the help of Origath, the Plaguebearer, a soldier who has taken an oath to slay the Filth Lord, having carried contagion within his body as a curse for some time. You were almost caught in the town square, however, managed to make it to the Dream Batteries, steal uniforms to make you look like dreamers, and create a massive ruckus, which has drawn some of the troops away from the tower. Your goal is to reach the warp gate deep within the tower, while destroying as much of the lab as you can and helping Origath get his revenge if possible. In order to do that, Gideon, you're going to see just how hot you can make the fires burn. So all of you are making your way towards the landing pad. Because you're nowhere near the tower, it is very easy to fall in line with the sort of parades of dreamers being led out of places. Origath is able to kind of escort you somewhat in that regard because he just looks like another person lending a hand to people who have wandered away. Having now seen these facilities, it's very clear that the dream visions that the dreamers were seeing even in their waking hours are falling apart without Elmstadt's control. And as a result, the beautiful city they thought they lived in is being revealed to them to be essentially a green screen set. So there's a lot of people like touching the fountain and trying to splash water in their face and being very confused and just all that sort of very confused people shit going on that allows you to kind of move through the crowd. You see other champions, not dressed like Origath, just other like bulkier troops moving throughout. It seems there are a variety of kind of stronger folks, as he'd alluded to. You don't see any corrupted Marines, but as it sounds like Postulus is not high on the ladder, so he might have one or two, but he certainly doesn't have like a full legion. He probably has a couple of overseers really to make sure he's not fucking up because, Nurgle wants more planets. So you make your way through the town square past what you hear people referring to as the garden as people run in just horrified that all the plants are gone, and you make your way towards the landing pad. The landing pad is one of those structures, almost like a helicopter pad that's been set up just off of an airstrip. So it's kind of up on struts, big flat platform with a lot more of the machinery that you'd be used to around it in terms of, there are lights at the appropriate angles. There seems to be a monitoring station with the equivalent of an auspix built into it. It's clear that whoever delivers here has set this up to make their job easier, particularly given the dream nature that would really fuck up astropaths and navigators and make flying on this planet really bad. So there are guards posted around this. You see more of these poxbearers, big green slimy demons, kind of distended bodies, little green spikes, and just generally like the equivalent of a walking cold. And they're laughing at the plight of the dreamers. It's very silly to them. They're also doing that cloud watching thing where because they don't recognize the human shapes that they're seeing. So they see something like an elephant. They're like, what do you think that is? Like there's a lot of genuine kind of confusion and bemusement. Because fun fact about Nurgle, loves a good party. Life comes from death. He's a jolly fella. So these guys are having a good time, which means they are not guarding this place particularly well. As I said, with the ship not landing presently, it's not a real priority. They just want to make sure they're basically just trying to stop people from wandering into it and breaking it somehow.
Valentyne would say to his compatriots, rather than needing to get atop this platform, which could draw a certain amount of attention, I believe it might be best if we could get Gideon below to work on those support struts, take those out, and it collapses. Then, if you can create more fire, I wouldn't say no, but at the same time, don't burn yourself completely out. We can just try to trudge around, join some group that's parading past, give Gideon an escape, and then if we need to cover him on the way out.
It makes sense.
And Attikus will point to a group. It's like 3 or 4 back. And basically watching what he's pointing at, you can see that there's an order to which these folks are being guided through. And it's basically like if you're thinking this is a human conveyor belt, it's like that's the group to join.
Valentyne will just give Gideon a nod. You are prepared?
Yes, I think so. And he adjusts his little weird dreamer clothing and puts it on and then looks at, I think, Morgan specifically and kind of looks for her approval.
Yeah, and Morgan, there's a moment where you look at her and she has weird, dead cat eyes, but then it's like a ripple goes over her face as she makes eye contact with you and realizes what you want from her, and then she softens and gives you a little smile and a nod.
So he notices that and is like, oh, okay, all right. And then he yes, I'm ready.
And we'll step out and join that parade.
Sure, yes. You make your way, I think probably just stumbling close enough that one of these creatures has to bring you over. You both take 2 strain from one of these Plaguebearers coming over to corral you in. The stench is vile.
They just them?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
because you're gonna you're still over by the landing pad to light it up. They're
Sure.
just getting into the appropriate
I
crowd. So Gideon, you step up towards this platform. You can see the struts. You can see there's sort of a central, larger kind of base in the center of it. It's time to unleash hell on it. What does summoning your powers feel like now that you have more of a sense of it?
I think who was it? What's his name?
Origath.
Like Origath said, he's going to try and harness a lot of the stuff that's happened to him today. At least what he thinks the idea of that looks like. Like he especially seeing his mom having to deal with that, and then a little bit too about the planet and the nightmare of that, and then the Inquisitor as well, and Valentyne, and trying to focus on that kind of the fear that comes from that, but also the need to impress somebody like Valentyne, to be like, don't fuck this up. Just be, you can do this. This is fine. You've seen other people do it. This is this is not the worst day, but you can overcome this. And I think he's going to just kind of lean back and see what happens. He's going to try and focus all of that kind of discontent. So is this are we taking it the little struts one at a time, or do we want to just try and wipe this thing out?
You're the only one under there.
Am I the only one over there?
We marched away.
Yeah, I think he's going to try and let's go big. Let's go big.
All right. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So he's got, what do we got? So he's got a blast. He can
Yep, that sounds about right
he
to
can
me.
activate it and make the range of this bigger, and he's also got the one called Inferno, but then he does specifically have one called Destructive. Ooh. The attack gains the Destructive and Sunder qualities, and also gains Pierce quality equal to twice your ranks in Discipline. So let's see.
Yes.
So he's gonna
spice it up with Blast, Inferno, and
just
Destructive?
Blast and Destructive.
Blast and Destructive.
Yeah,
okay.
I think with Inferno, I'd be dipping my toes in the barrels a little too much. But I think Blast and Destructive.
You were told not to burn yourself out. You're following instructions.
Right. I think it's part of it. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think I got the standards of it. I have 2 leftover advantage from last time. Could I roll a boost in there for myself with that?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Anything else you think we need?
I
throw a boost from Origath's advice.
Yeah,
on how to
I think
supercharge
yeah,
yourself.
I buy that.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that's probably it. It's a stationary target, but I think that's good.
Okay,
yep, let's do it.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, 5 advantage, but that's it.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh, buddy.
So you kind of reach out with trying to focus as Origath suggested and everything else, psychic power kind of crackles around you, and flame kind of erupts from your hands, but kind of sputters against the struts and metal. It's the equivalent of like holding a lighter against metal. Like you are casting fire, and I think maybe what happens is as you start to do it, one of the Plaguebearers starts to come nearby, so you have to like pull it back in and kind of back away. They do a full patrol. You see them stop and sniff the air where the flame was, and then just kind of yell across the pad to the other one like, I think they're manifesting strange smells in the air now too. And continues to just kind of carry on its weird way. You can see you got a lot of advantage. So what I'll say is you can see the like group with Valentyne and co moving along, which would normally be cause for concern because like they're going to move all the way through without you. But we're going to burn your advantage to say that a couple of Dreamers just take off running, and as a result, all the parade groups have to stop in order to kind of like chase those people down. So you've missed your opportunity. It didn't work, but the parade has stopped, so you have another chance. What do you do?
Okay. I think now he has to really like center himself. I think he was getting a little cocky with that. So he's going to pull it back, and he's going to sit in that moment, I think, and really think about what Origath said about like focusing on the sort of that rage, harnessing like truly the horrible things that he's gone through today, and see, like the centralizing on the vision of him like pulling that tarp over his mom, and seeing that kind of burned into him, and seeing the way that people have been treated around here, and seeing Attikus rip the guts out of that Space Marine, and all the level of just unstructured chaos.
Sure, like the citizens of Greybridge running off to their death.
And then, the Inquisitor just sending them all to their desk, and then coming back to me and saying, well, it was inevitable. It's, so I think he's gonna double back down and then really kind of try and hit the Super Saiyan.
Power up.
So you can do something called pushing.
That's what I was. I was thinking about. Yeah.
Great. So since we haven't talked about psychic powers too much on air, you can push yourself drawing deeper from the depths of the warp to boost your power. It's risky as it strains your ability to control the energies of the warp. So when you choose to push, you may upgrade the difficulty die of their roll up to 3 times, and for each time you do this, you add a success to the final result of the roll. But if you trigger perils of the warp, it adds +5 for each time the difficulty was upgraded. So your difficulty die are currently at what?
1 red, and I believe it is 3 purple.
Okay. So how many times do you like to push?
I think 1 for right now is a good start. I think he's just kind of dipping a toe into what this looks like.
So upgrade 1 purple to a red, please.
1 purple to a red.
And then we'll just mentally add a success at the end of your
just
roll.
one success across. Okay.
Yep. I'll give you a boost for what you're imagining. I think those are all pretty grim things.
Perfect.
So you can have a boost for that.
I will remind you, you can hold on to your devotional icon to use it during your casting to keep you a little bit safer from perils of the warp.
Oh, that's right, too.
You received that from Jeffrey.
From Jeffrey.
Yeah, what is your devotional icon?
I think it's the hilt of the sword that
poison-
he's got, of the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
Brazier.
the rose,
family
Yeah.
sword.
the rose blade. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So you can grab that.
Yeah, it removes 2 threat when... Is that when...
2 threat when you are using it as an implement to cast a psychic power.
Oh, just any of them? Oh, okay,
Correct.
fun. Okay.
Great.
Cool.
So you can take that. I'm going to give you a black die for... I don't want to fuck up in front of the Inquisitor is now much more stressful.
Yes.
And I think that's it from my
Okay.
side of things.
Yep. This feels... So all of this, and then I would add, and whatever this is, add another success.
Yes,
That's
when you're
correct.
done.
And drop
We also
two
do have
threat.
story points. So if you want
Yeah, I feel like now is the time. Yeah, I might as well.
Right.
So if you spend a story point, that'll upgrade one of your green dice to a yellow dice.
Perfect. Let's do that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, feeling cool. Super Saiyan. Getting upset. Let's give it a shot. Cool. 3 successes and a triumph.
Which is 4 successes and a triumph.
4
because you get a bonus.
You-
on
Four
each
you
one.
successes. 4
Yes.
successes and a triumph.
Wow. He
Sick.
did it.
Okay. So you kind of remember all these callous and horrible things that have happened, and kind of as Gideon's been spending a lot of time trying to keep it together. And I think like a lot of the things that we watched you choke down while having your conversation with Valentyne, again, to what Origath described as like letting a pressure valve out. It's just like you almost let the psyker powers and the warp flowing through you. You almost let it see, and as a result, it's like it's not that you suddenly have a big rage moment or anything else. It's just it's a letting go of having to keep the mask up, and suddenly flame just erupts from your hands in a massive kind of conflagration. You used your blast ability, so it sort of erupts out from your hands, hits in a like a fireball that erupts under this platform, melting through kind of the exterior as this ball of fire continues to burn and erupt. And setting off the refill tanks for the refueling tanks for the ships. So as you kind of cast this, you just kind of hear that, when a tank is pierced, where there's kind of that loud hiss, and it's enough time with your triumph to just like back the fuck off and kind of throw yourself to the deck. And this thing explodes. The entire platform goes up. It melts the 2 demons who are patrolling it. And it's just like one of those big fuel fires where it's kind of the almost the little mushroom cloud of fuel burning, and immediately there's just panic. The dreamers are confused and terrified. Most of them are like blinded by this sudden flash of light. Nurglings are like laughing and bouncing toward it to try and help, but they're small and useless. So who knows? But yeah, generally there's tremendous amounts of chaos, and you can see the Plaguebearers with the Dreamers starting to like round them up and shove them forward. So your parade group is moving. But
And that's the point where you look up and see Valentyne, the only person who isn't blinded by things that flash with bright light because of his robotic eyes, and he's helping you to your feet to pull you back into the group and get you clear.
Perfect. I think Gideon is like so floored by this. Like I think he thought it was gonna be something. He thought he was going to get something, and then he's like seeing this destruction is completely caught off guard. And then with Valentyne right there, he's going to be like, "Is that
Excellent work.
that's okay?
Truly excellent work.
Oh,
a gift from the Emperor."
And he's like putting out like his little pajamas have caught on
Valentyne
fire.
will
And he's
help
like,
pat you out
like
with it as
patting
well.
it. Oh, yes. And he like, you see him get a little psyched up now. He's like, "Oh yes, okay. Now what? What's next?
Now we get off of this planet.
Yes,
Back to Origath. Come on.
yes."
He'll just pull him towards the parade so we can bail out with Origath to get the fuck out of here.
all right, great. So with all the chaos, it's easy enough to kind of get bumped along towards the lab. Origath just kind of leans in as you get closer and says, "They will not allow me into the labs, but once you're in the main tower, if you can open the door, release the security mechanisms, I will slay my way up the tower. I will meet you at the warp gate."
Excellent. We'll continue our advance upwards and allow you in at the first moment that we can.
No matter how this goes, Inquisitor, thank you for giving my final moments meaning.
Die as you've lived, Origath, as a loyal son of the Emperor.
And he just nods at you, and then just like turns around and just callously shoves a dreamer forward, and just says, the worshippers of Zincha amongst us? Get the crowds moving. And like various, you're just basically like corralled through and sort of shoved into the main floor of this silo. Now, the silo is packed. Like this is sort of just a large open space. It's clear that they've been processing people and kind of moving them throughout the lab. But this is really more of there's a storm coming, get everyone inside. So they're just kind of jamming people in. They're jamming people into the food generation pavilion just a bit further up. You guys, of course, were kind of like shifting your way towards the lab, so you get shoved in. And basically, there are 4 of these Plaguebearers kind of trying to keep the crowd under control. There are Nurglings running around between your feet and just kind of like keeping a sense of order by creating constant chaos beneath you. And finally, one of the Plaguebearers just says, "Dreamers all, do not worry. These are temporary distractions from your beautiful dreams. Grandfather brings you better dreams. You will have such wonderful times in..." And like just like looking in like a fucking come on guys way towards the back entrance, like soon you shall join us all. We would ask you to turn your attentions up, please. And as the 4 of you look up, you can see like fire nozzles that have a large green tube attached to them, kind of pulsing with the Nurgle goo they've been spraying all over.
Are there stairs inside of us, Tom?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, Valentine doesn't give a fuck about the show other than like we're going up the stairs.
Oh yeah, more so meant like you're packed in and it's busy. But yes, there is a you can see kind of a sort of back towards where this demon was just looking is the stairwell that'll lead you up to the next floor.
Right, and we got nozzles over us?
Yep.
And are they moving dreamers past this room, or dreamers are just stacked up here?
Dreamers just standing here, ready for some Nurgle spray.
Yep, Valentine's going to say to everybody, safety's off, engage and get clear. Just power sword, fucking disruption field. There's no fucking gamble here. We get sprayed by fucking goo and we're corrupted forever, or we kill a couple of demons and start making our way up the stairs. He doesn't see a way out of this otherwise.
Cool. So
because they aren't moving these fucking dreamers till they get sprayed, and these are not hazmat suits. We're wearing pajamas.
So I'll give you guys a free round because they are not expecting a bunch of these dreamers to suddenly fucking draw arms. Yeah, you get a free round, 4 Plaguebearers, kind of we'll say at the cardinal directions just to make life easy. North is where your stairwell is. It's kind of a curved stair that leads up around the outside. So your goal is to get there. There's obviously a Plaguebearer standing directly in front of that. You have Nurglings at your feet, which will kind of count as a minion swarm. That'll kind of move with you as you go. But again, they're not expecting anything. So what do you do?
Should we? We got the. Do you want initiative from us for the surprise round, or are we all just going to go?
Sure, let's do that. That would make some sense.
And is this cool or vigilance?
Well, this is very much vigilance, I think.
Alrighty.
Because vigilance is
Vigilance is the prepared warriors go into action. Cool is the shit. Draw weapons, which admittedly we could argue for the people being ordered. I'm like, Valentine's definitely vigilance because he's calling the shot.
Yeah.
I think then, let's do vigilance for Valentyne. Let's do cool for Gideon. Vigilance for Attikus, Valentyne, and Morgan. Okay. I think you guys are so used to like pulling this shit.
Gideon is not very cool.
And there's no difficulty. This is just for initiative. Yep. 2 successes, 1 advantage for Valentyne.
Oh.
3 successes for Morgan.
Okay.
And Gideon has 2 successes, 1 advantage.
Nice. And Attikus has 3 successes, 2 advantage.
As Valentyne gives his order, he will say, break north for the stairs.
Just like the second you said, like, honestly, I think the second they're like, look up, Attikus, you just hear like and it's just like the fist. He doesn't even reach back for a punch. It's just like a backhand out of the sling, and just sweeping dreamers out of the way. So not even going for the demon, just knowing that you need to get to the door, and there's just bodies packed between you. So he just sweeps a crowd out of your way, which I think will say, but basically clears the route for the rest of you to get to.
Great.
Not quite to the demon, but much closer. So it's a big swing. People are like holding on to the arm, so he's like shaking them off, and he just like points the way forward as he like punches his arm free. So that's gonna be his play, and he'll storm forward as he does that, just kind of playing bouncer, just shoving people out of the way so you have a clear shot. Next up is Morgan.
Okay, and how is this demon positioned? Like, so Attikus is pushing just normal people out of the way.
Yeah, demon's up on a little riser so it can oversee the action.
Okay. And because my only concern is, like, since they're all pukey weird, if I shoot them, are we within spray distance of?
Not currently.
Okay, so I think that's what Morgan will be, using Attikus as a shield, staying right behind him, letting him clear the path, and she's going to try to just pop off a shot.
Doing like the Mad Max
Yep,
Fury
over
Road
his shoulder, trying to shoot that
So I
plague.
guess technically you're probably just holding it because his shoulder is punching
he's shorter,
currently.
yes.
Well, it's just there's a lot of movement in punching.
Yeah. So she's just behind him, basically.
Yep.
She knows where she's standing because she's just staying close behind him, so she doesn't have to track
Great.
that.
Love it.
Okay. And difficulty.
This is not far, so 2.
Okay.
I think range band 2.
Yeah, 2's pistol range, generally speaking.
Yeah, and
two is actually, I think, throwing range.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Attikus is like forcing his way forward, and this is like in theory would have been back when this was like a human building, like the entry hall where there might be like display stands and shit. So it's kind of like a nice big central lobby. So yeah, it's not super wide.
Great.
Okay.
I'm also going to use one of my pierce bullets that she will have loaded in. And then my only question is, if I'm moving, do I get a movement and a maneuver?
You can spend 2 strain to get a second maneuver.
That's what I want to do then. I'll want to be moving, but then also aiming.
Yep.
So I'm going to spend strain to do that. Okay. So I have all of my stuff. And is there anything else?
I would say a setback for all of the like dreamers
So many
being
things
fucking
moving.
tossed
Yes.
out of the way by
Absolutely.
Attikus. Otherwise, no. I'm not going to make you roll fear because you've just been around all this stuff for so long now that you just kind of...
We talked to that guy.
Yeah. No, I think that's it.
Okay, I'm going to roll it out. Oh my gosh. So 4 advantages, but 1 failure. I miss this guy. I totally whiff it.
Okay. Yeah. So the bullet hits the wall next to the Plaguebearer, who just suddenly like looks like from Attikus, who could theoretically just be a really overzealous dreamer, to the bullet, and just raises a hand and begins to like gurgle scream. But that doesn't matter because there's 2 more people going. Next up we have. So Gideon and Valentyne, you both got the same thing. I'm going to get Valentyne first because he was the one giving the order, I think.
Yep.
So Valentyne, what do you do?
Then I will pass 2 boosts to Valentyne with my...
And
Nice.
Valentyne is going to take his shot with his bolt pistol as the group just storms forwards out of this crowd to try to plug that same screaming plague bearer, plague bringer, whatever the fuck these things are.
Plague
They
man.
got to eat it.
Plaguebearer.
All right. Difficulty, you said range was 2?
Yep.
Great. Obviously, he will aim. He's got that maneuver. What else do I need to add, Tom?
Same thing as Morgan, a setback for just bodies jumping in front and in the way.
And then you get 2 boosts from me.
And 2 boosts, yep. I think that's it.
Great. Let's see what happens. Fuck me.
This
4
fucking
advantage and 1 failure. Missed the demon as well. Just
Same
getting jostled
thing.
in the crowd as we fight our way forwards. I will say Valentyne will use his movement. He's not worried about staying behind Attikus. He's worried about getting out from under these fucking nozzles. So he will just join the giant push to the front. Activate refractor field. Clear way with fucking power sword. He doesn't give a shit about these people. He wants to get out from under the nozzles with his
Yep.
movement.
Fair enough. All right, so you begin to fight your way forward.
And I'll pass the 2 boosts to Gideon, who now actually has some space to breathe in this crowd as Valentyne just just reaps the corn that is these people, making his way forwards as bodies and limbs just spray blood as they fall into pieces.
Yep.
I think Gideon looking up and seeing the nozzles. So the nozzles are just like all over the ceiling.
Yeah, it's literally just the fire suppression system. So there's just like those little nozzles that would spray water, but then the Nurgle folks have like stuck their contagion into it. So it's going to make everyone become cool plague bearers. It's going to be awesome.
Sure. So why not, right?
They love
it. I don't. I'll run this by. I don't know if this is applicable, but we'll see. So one of the things he can do is create a barrier, and there's normally it starts as like just like a shield on yourself, but then it says in narrative encounters, your psyker can protect themselves from adverse conditions of all kinds. You can and one of them is like create a flaming wall to protect you from falling debris. So do I think could I make a flaming barrier on the top to protect us from those things? Yeah,
sure can. That's fucking cool.
I feel like that's like a cool thing for it.
Hell
right?
yeah.
Perfect. So let's see if that works. So he just like shoots his hands to the sky and tries to harness a little fire scarecrow.
You gonna do a little pushy on this one, or
Why not do a little push?
un petit push?
Un petit push. What was push again? It was
Push means you automatically
one
upgrade
success,
a purple
but-
to a red,
yes.
but you get an automatic.
Oh, but I have
success.
no purples. I just have reds.
You just have reds. So then you can't push unless you upgrade the difficulty, correct?
Yeah,
Or
so
does he add a purple?
What we've traditionally done on this is to just add a new purple.
A new purple.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll add a little perp, but we'll make one of these a yellow. And you.
Well, from push, you actually just get an automatic success.
Yeah, so-
your green
Oh,
stays
no,
green.
stays green.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yep.
no worries.
Nope. I got.
You just get to
But
add
you
it to the
could
final
spend
tally.
a story point if you want to crank it up. We're currently at 1 and 4 in my favor.
yeah.
I mean, this kindly story points can be miracles that save all of our lives. Don't use the story.
No, I was. Yeah. I thought that was. Settle down.
We've run out before. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Gimme.
I'll use it so we
gimme.
This is his idea.
Grandfather Nurgle. Hungles 4 story points. Hungles.
Hungles.
That's how he rolls, man.
Hungles.
And then did you say you gave me a
I
boost?
pass for
He
two
got
boosts
two boosts
because
for
you've
you.
got
Two boosts.
you've got enough space around you with all the carnage that no one's jostling you, so
Yeah.
you
Love
can
that.
focus.
So full
Yep.
hands to the ceiling. Flame barrier. Let's see what happens. Boom. 3 successes, 5 advantage.
So that's
Oh,
4
shit.
successes. 'cause
4
you pushed.
successes because
Yes.
of push. Yes.
Yep.
Sick.
All right. So, you, I think, again, in kind of that panic instinct, it's just like, I don't want this goo spraying on us. So it's just like hands up. And immediately it's just like, I'm trying to think of where I've seen this, but it's like the flame literally just like crawls across the ceiling. Like it just like lights up and spreads across
It's usually
the
when the
ceiling.
flame is coming from the floor above,
That's it,
and it
yeah.
hits the
Yeah,
ceiling
it's
and burns
that.
down.
So
You
it's
just
that, like-
reverse it.
I was going to say the movie Panic Room. Remember Panic
I do.
That also
Jodie
applies.
Foster.
Yes,
Yes,
right?
yeah, of
With the
course,
propane
Yeah,
and the-
that's
yes,
the one.
yeah,
Yeah, there we go.
Backdraft.
Thank you.
Backdraft also a good
Backdraft.
Yep.
Excellent.
Pick your favorite fire on a ceiling movie. And it's that. Amazing. So yeah, the fire lights up.
Firestarter,
The new.
the psychic fire movie.
The psychic fire movie.
Yeah.
It's
Also
him.
a decent song by Prodigy. All right. The Nurglings all like look up and scream because they're just little and this isn't. They don't care for this.
While that song by Prodigy plays, I just want to
Yeah.
be clear. That's now become the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Firestarter.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Charlie's Angels too, which is primarily where I know it from. Okay, so yeah, fire is burning up the ceiling. Nurglings are screaming and panicking and running around underfoot. You're forcing your way forward, and that is your surprise round, but a tremendously successful one. You also have a ton of advantage, Josh.
I
Is there
was just
anything
going to say,
you want
are you okay if I just dump that back into my strain?
It's
That would bring
your
me back
advantage.
to-
That's your
Oh,
call.
yeah,
We
that's
can't
Yeah,
control
absolutely
it, so
okay.
go
your
for it.
call.
Okay, sure.
You can always
Just
make that choice.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to.
We can't dump ours into your strain, so
Yeah,
it makes
that's
sense.
what I thought, like-
Also,
Yes.
you're in a very like self-preservation-y mode, so
Yeah.
it makes sense that you're just refilling the well in the warp.
Empowered by your
Yep.
glory of fire.
The
He's learning the
flame.
right lessons for being on
Yeah.
this planet. None of this will come back to bite us in the ass.
No.
Look, train the psyker to use their power indiscriminately. That's what we say about psychers. That's always
He's
feed
sanctioned.
off of
I
that
sanctioned
power.
him.
sanctioned. Yep.
Nothing
He's
could
sanctioned.
ever go
This is
wrong.
the equivalent of diplomatic immunity. Just like, I'm sorry, sanctioned.
He's got those kroner.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the perils of the warp sheet and just throw it out. I don't think I need it.
You're gonna wake up tonight with that thing in your bed. It's gonna start falling around. All right, so you light up the ceiling. You've got you spend all your advantage to gain back some strain. I'm going to spend a story point on my turn to say that by setting a fire under the fire suppression system, you trigger the fire suppression system. However, the goo is burnt up by the flame, but the emergency fire door slams down over the stairwell to lock the fire in. Which causes the plague bear to go like, yeah. So you have an additional complication now, and you also can have a story point back.
Yeah.
So 2 and 3. So yeah, fire door slams down. At this point, like the dreamers are starting to hit the deck, as you can imagine from an entirely cowed population that's been living in a magical dream world where they kind of see whatever they want to see. If anything goes wrong, they're taught to just like lie down. It's just like get out of the way of the important people. So they all start kind of just like looking around and taking cover. Someone's like, "This dream sucks," and there's just a variety of that kind of nonsense. Of also people who just are so out of it that they're like, some people are just looking up, being like, "This is nice." Like there's just a whole range of reactions to the flames. I'm gonna roll for the the Plaguebearer. See what their initiative is. Yeah, it's probably not gonna be very good, but let's try it.
We love it.
1 success and 1 advantage for the Plaguebearers. So let me do my numbers here. Attikus is number 1. Morgan is number 2. Oh, should they go last? That's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad for them. 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Also, I did a sneaky roll while you guys were causing your havoc for Trin Rakai, who is online right now, who just yells out, "Tzeentch will only return dreams to you if you throw down these plague-ridden monsters. Rise, dreamers!" And dreamers start being like, "The dreams will come back?" Like, yeah, totally. And like, that oddly shaped metal one speaks the truth. So they start basically just like harrying the ones you're not punching towards.
Great.
So this is only going to buy you a round because obviously those plague bears are going to cut those guys down real fast. But it's some degree of like, get off. The ceiling is on fire, you idiots, get off. Grandfather Nurgle is trying to give you his blessings. There's just a lot of that going on. This party is being ruined, which brings us to the top of the round, which is Attikus. So I think seeing that door slam down.
That is a classic Attikus problem.
Yeah.
Attikus is going to see like Valentyne coming up swinging the sword next to him, and it's just like straight, like just bulldozer punch into the wall. So again, like with a fucking power fist, I don't know why I bother rolling this, but there's always a chance that something goes horribly awry. So this is
Fist v door.
Yeah,
Fist v door.
Dawn of Justice. Okay, so we get 3.
Admittedly, we've had 0 success shooting people.
Yeah.
But destroying elements of structure.
That seems to be
has
the
been
thing
gone.
over
Right,
here.
we're an anti-architecture group.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so
brutalists.
I've got 3 yellow, 3 green, 1 boost for it being an inanimate object. I'm giving him a setback for having to pass through the stench of the Plaguebearer to get in there. I'm going to spend a story point to upgrade the difficulty by 1.
Yep. I would pitch a boost for him because he knows the hoses are spraying contagion, and if we don't get through the door,
An urgency boost.
this fire may run out.
Yep. Yep. I think that's... He also doesn't understand psyker powers at all.
You're keeping it.
So I think for Attikus, who is a very literal-minded, like, I understand how combat works, he's happy this is happening. Or not happy. He's like, okay, good, there's something protecting us, but, like, he doesn't know shit about this. He doesn't know how
100%.
long it lasts. He doesn't know.
None of us do.
I think it's just like... but also, I'm just, like, place myself in Atticus's shoes. I feel like it really is just like, right, well... Who knows? Like, punch as hard as you can.
Yep, that checks out.
What?
I'm scared.
I don't like that.
5 success, 6 advantage, and a despair.
Oh, Jesus.
What does that mean?
Good question, Del.
Look how many
let's
little
take a
pictures
break.
there are.
Okay.
What do you do with that?
Okay. I think I got it. All right. So Attikus, again, just like knowing we've got to get out. runs up, fist out, punches through the door. And again, like massive success. He's got breach. He's built for tearing through walls and doors and things. So punches through the door directly into a poxbearer who's on the other side, who came down to check out what's what. Morgan, you asked earlier about spray distance. Mm-hmm. This is spray distance. So he punches basically through the door into this thing, and it bursts and it vomits corrosive goo onto his arm. And as he pulls it back, the power fist is shorting out and spasming. And he just kind of looks from it to Valentyne and just shakes his head and reaches for his gun. So his arm is going to be inoperable until someone fixes it, because it is covered in corrosive poxbearer goo. But the door's open, so technically a success, but also a despairing one. So he just, again, looking down at it, and you hear him just turn again, forcing voice through the broken voice coder. Say, "You better be able to fix this, Xenos." And he'll draw his gun. Okay, that's him. Next up, we've got Morgan.
So the poxbearer that was in the room, that went splat.
No, he punched through the door into one. So basically, when the fire door went down and they heard screaming, another poxbearer came downstairs to see what's up. So there was a poxbearer on the other side of the door who was trying to get it open. He punched through the door and that guy. So the poxbearer is up on the platform that you both missed is still there.
Right, but the one on the other side of the door is dead.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a clear exit further into the building.
Yeah, you've got a clear exit. He just fucked up his arm doing it.
Absolutely.
Because despair.
Yeah, and when that was Morgan's idea of, I'm staying close to Attikus, because she was like, Attikus is wide enough, duck down, when that splat went off, so she was behind his body.
We're finally going to put our Left 4 Dead experience to good use, but get away from the boomer. So yeah, you're fine. It's just the arm.
Then if the door is open, Morgan's going to run in, very carefully, pitter-pattering her feet across where all of the bile is, but into the next room, scoping it out, trying to see where's the next area. There's another door to get to, something like that. She wants to see their next step that they can get to.
So you'll take 2 strain from running through Stinky Cloud.
Okay.
Past the poxbearer, who really wishes he had higher initiative.
Yeah, she's coughing. She's just coughing as she's going through the hallway.
Yeah, you slide into the stairwell. So the stairwell is a small landing that leads kind of up on a spiral that'll go around the outside of the building to the next floor. Mm-hmm. Looking up, you can see that, again, it kind of curves around this silo structure. You don't hear any more footsteps plodding down. It seems like this was the closest guard, but you've got your rifle kind of trained up, and I think it's the kind of thing where if anyone comes down those stairs, they're getting shot. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. And I think Toby's going right up through the middle of the spiral to check first.
Unfortunately, and I'm sorry, this is a hard, since we're all anti-architecture.
It's not open in the middle.
The middle is the room you just left.
Understood.
So
we're going long way around the outside.
That's
of it.
correct.
I understand.
Long way around the outside.
Are these metal stairs or stone stairs, Tom?
Stone.
I just want to make sure I'm picturing the environment.
Okay.
Stone.
Yes.
There's no slats through them. There's nothing under them. It's just basically what you would see outside of a tower if a staircase was encircling it, just closed in against the elements.
Yeah. Then she will just send Toby a little bit further around the corner so she can spot with him before she physically is there.
Okay.
But she's going to call back down to Attikus and be like, all clear from here.
And he's just firing over, holding the door basically to make sure everyone else gets through, and he just nods over his shoulder at you as he continues to fire. So Toby goes up and can see into another room that's kind of up a floor. You can see that's where the big canisters have been set up to create this kind of spraying station. There's also just a bunch of maps on the wall. They're all kind of gooey. Again, Origath wasn't lying. This isn't a great Nurgle isn't team paper, but sometimes, and they're basically plans for how to convert the Dreaming City. And this very much seems like one of many stations to help infect the populace, because they have all these mortals that are just ripe for becoming Plaguebearers and monsters, but just right now they're stupid mortals. So there's a lot of that. You can see some kind of not quite Nurglings, but also not quite Plaguebearers, just some humans who are infected.
Gooey.
Moving around and checking the levels on things. There's a bunch of them that are panicking panicking about all the alarms that are going off because they didn't build this building, so they don't know what the fuck that means.
Okay.
And there's a plague bearer. 2 plague bearers in this room with swords out, just kind of like they're used to things coming through the walls, right? Like the Tzeentch aspect monsters just kind of materialize. So there's a lot of like that as they look around, kind of up, and are squinting. So they're not looking your way. They're expecting an ambush. No one expects the Dreamers to attack. They expect this to be remnants of Elmstadt's forces. So that's what you see.
Okay.
We cut back to the main floor.
Valentyne, he's just moving his way fucking forwards. This plague bearer could be somebody else's problem that is standing on this platform. He's going to make his way to the stairs and up the stairs. At the same time, he's going to hit his comms because Origath still has one outside and be like, we've already been discovered, so you can attack anytime you please. We'll open the doors if we can. If we can't, fight your way inside.
Fine.
For the Emperor. And he'll let that go. And then he's got his blade out, refractor field in place. He'll look to Morgan and just say, stay close. You can shoot out of this field, not through it. I'm not saying that that's canonically as written, Tom. I'm just assuming that's the way the field would work in reality. It's really weird to shoot through someone's force field from the exterior if it protects them, whereas if it's inside...
You could shoot out of it.
I'm putting a narrative limit and a narrative bonus on it.
I would say for me, it's like if we're taking Dune rules, if you're like shoving the barrel through the refractor
That's
field,
what I mean.
so that
Then
the barrel is outside the field, then I'll take the
that's what I was saying. It's like if that's fine. It's
it's Destiny Titan bubble rules
because he can fire
shoot from inside.
He can fire his bolt pistol from inside the refractor field, and it can protect him in close combat. But if shit go out, not in.
Right.
So that's his plan. He's looking at an indeterminate number of stairs up. Staying here seems like a fucking terrible idea. He's got a power sword out. He's just going to go as far as he can. Basically.
Yeah, and Morgan will just give him the summary of what's in the next room of like...
And there is a landing. So basically it's like there's a landing and then more stairs.
Yes.
So either you can cross...
Valentyne would then, if he got that info from Morgan, he would basically go up and stay just out of sight of the door of the landing. If the Plaguebearers haven't come out, then he'll hold there until the rest of the group is behind him.
Yes.
He's never felt more confident than after the last 5 minutes of leave Gideon at the rear if Attikus isn't doing great.
Yeah. You hear the Plaguebearers just like, come out, you beaky sons of bitches, as they like swing their swords through the air at possible Tzeentch monsters.
He's going to hold position until the rest of the gang is with us.
Understood. Which brings us back to Gideon. So I believe you can use your maneuver to
concentrate and maintain it.
Yeah. So you can spend your action, I believe, to move if you want.
Yes, maneuvers tend to be like a weapon reload. They're like a side thing. So it's kind of movement, action, and then maneuvers are aim or shit like that.
Yeah, great. Yeah. So, yes, so basically spend your minor to keep the fire going. What are you doing?
Are we... is Attikus still down on this level?
Attikus is standing in the doorway and basically just taking pot shots in order to kind of keep the crowd at bay.
Yeah.
With his hand twitching, but he's holding the door for you basically.
Perfect. Yeah. So I'll slink over to Attikus. Is the spray still like raining down and being burnt up? Okay. So then I'll just sidle over to Attikus. I'll get beside him and I'll keep it up.
Okay, great. Yeah. So basically, once you're through, he's in the doorway, so you can both kind of step back. So holding the firewall up, you both kind of step back into the alcove, and Gideon, you notice that the servitor. You took off the arms and you replaced them with okay.
Trin Rakai is just a head and a torso.
Yep.
in a pajamas with stuffed arms and legs.
Correct. Yes.
But Jeffrey is also there. We got servitor.
Oh
I understand. Okay, great. So you kind of like force your way in. Atticus's arm is kind of like sparking and twitching, but once you step through, he just picks the door that's still like up his forearm up, slams it back into place, and just like pulls his twitching arm back through it. Probably just using his arm as a club to just like bend metal back in so that it doesn't move. And then he kind of nods to you, and with just kind of almost an instinctual piece, you pull the fire back towards you, and it just kind of seals the door a bit. So they're still pounding on the other side. The Hawksbearer and also all those people in that room are starting to turn now that the firewall's down. But you're temporarily locked in. And again, Attikus just like looks down at his arm in frustration, and I think like angrily just kind of like is banging it on things and like slamming it on walls, trying to get the feeling back in your hand, right? So it's just kind of bashing it against the wall to try and get the energy back up. And he accidentally hits himself in the throat with his thumb as he does it, and just kind of like, grits his teeth, looks down at the arm, and just out loud says, "Oh, that's a fucking pisser." And he looks up at you and says, "Hey, good job. Up the stairs."
And Gideon just goes.
This episode of the Valentyne Heresy features the voices of players Ryan LaPlante, Tyler Hewitt, Josh Halbot, and Del Borovic, alongside Game Master Tom McGee. This episode was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and the Valentyne Heresy's artwork was created by Del Borovic at delborovic.com. That's DELBOROVIC.com. Our theme song is The Hordes by Megan McDuffie, and our ad breaks use the tracks No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR. All of their music is available at freemusicarchive.org. For all things Dum-Dums and Dice, including merchandise and how to join our Patreon, you can visit dumdumdice.com or find us on social media at dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. Ave Imperator, and death to all the heretics.
Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christopher Little, George Dolby, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, Schrodinger's Pepper, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Mithrian, Garbo Ape, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dagger Rain, Rob L, Dia De Los Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Remy Funky Head, Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky, Lael, Shulzari, The Long Family, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, Alex Parr, Dragonfly, The Body Barrelers, Megan Werner, A Man Out of Time, Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com, Panda24NN, Shendra D, Your Homeboy Bones, The Gator Family, Ellis Hatch, Odigenous, Beef Not Cheese, Kai Koa, Squire Solaire, Sandy Sassy Pants, Adam, Amira Lockhart, James Molina, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.